Hey guys, today we are going to be talking about the second part of our project, which is going to be the color studies. Now here we have our thumbnails, which is what we talked about last time, and we need to go ahead and choose the composition that we liked best from our thumbnails. And so we have, I'm going to do this one. This is from when the sorcerer gives Aladdin the ring. It's going to help him get out of the cave later. Here we have the sorcerer disguised as an old man, tricking the Aladdin's wife, the princess, into trading him the genie, the powerful lamp, for a new shiny one. And then here is going to be King Aladdin on his throne at the end of the story. So those are the three compositions that I'm choosing from. And for our thumbnails, we need to go ahead and redraw them just a little bit bigger. These still look like thumbnails. They're just a little bit bigger than they were in the other. And we're really just going to keep these sketch level. Now I spent a little bit of time on these, more than I needed to. Don't feel like you have to go through and make the drawings super nice. This down here is totally fine. It's just basic lines that represent what's there. As long as you know what's there and you know where to put your colors so that we can accurately plan for what we're going to do. And that's the whole point of a color study, is to plan what you're going to do with your colors so that you're not guessing and trying to figure it out when you get there and then mess it up and have to start all over. So this helps us do a better job more efficiently. So here we have at the top our first one, and you'll notice that we have two for each illustration that we're going to do. We're going to try two different color plans for our illustrations. We don't want to do the same exact thing on each one. We want to try something different. And to do that, we need to plan. We need to plan our colors well, and we need to choose a couple things. The first thing we need to decide is if we're going to do monochromatic, analogous, or complementary. Now, if you don't remember what those are, what you should do is go ahead and draw a small color wheel. I'm just going to draw one here in the corner. Remember, I want to divide it into 6, so we're going to draw it like that. And then your primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, spaced evenly apart. And in between, we get orange, we get purple, and we get green. All right, and in between we have the tertiary colors, which, you know, is blue-green, blue-violet, red-violet, red-orange, yellow-orange, and yellow-green. All right, so that's our color wheel, and we can use that to decide what we're going to do. So monochromatic is just going to be one color. So if I was going to do one of these in monochromatic, then all I would need to do is choose that one color. This is most likely to be the piece. If I were to choose monochromatic, I might go monochromatic on that. I don't know yet. I might just do something a little bit more basic. You may want to do all three of them similar. If you're going to do complementary, maybe do complementary for all three, but I'm not going to require you to do that. Whatever color scheme that you think is going to work best for each image, you can feel free to do that. Do take note of things like, you know, the sorcerer here. I'm going to give him some colors. This is the sorcerer's hand, and I want to kind of carry that over to here so that you know it's the same character from here to here. And so that's probably what I'm going to lean towards. I think I'm some darker reds and oranges for this guy here and here. So that's going to be part of my color scheme. So let me think, if I'm going to do reds and oranges, I'm going to be starting in this area. Now, I'm not going to do monochromatic. If I'm doing red and orange, then that means I'm going to be doing analogous. So colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. It doesn't mean I have to use a bunch. I could just stick with red and orange, or even, you know, red, orange, and red. Maybe even a red, violet. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that somewhere in there. But those are the colors I want to kind of stick to on this one, and keep it really basic and simple. I'll probably do a basic flesh tone, so let's go ahead and write, you know, like beige or tan. So tan hands there, and then here they're going to be in shadow, so I'm going to do black and red. And then for the ring, I think I'm going to do orange. I think that'll be nice. So I'm going to just draw a line and then orange. All right, so that's one plan. That's one idea. I got to come up with something else over here. So maybe I'm going to keep the black and red for the sorcerer. And I like the idea of the orange ring. Now the black and red, maybe I want to make this red orange, so that I can do complementary. You know what? I'm going to simplify this. I'm going to do this monochromatic. So this one's going to be monochromatic. And then this one, I am going to make this one analogous. G-O-U-S. I got to spell it right. Analogous. Yep, I got it right. All right, so for this one, I'm going to do colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Tan, orange, black, and red. That's all going to be kind of, tan is going to be somewhere in here. It's like light yellow orange. And then we have orange, and then red, and then black is a value, not a color. And then in monochromatic, here I'm going to do the ring is like a red orange. And it's going to be bright. And then there's going to be kind of a red kind of on his fingers, red-orange, kind of on the tips of his fingers where the light from the ring is impacting it, but it's mostly going to be black. And then Aladdin's hands are going to be more of a medium tone. They're farther back. They're going to be kind of faded. So a medium tone, red-orange, and then in the background, I'll either make the background black or maybe make it just kind of tan. All right. So moving on, you can see me finishing the color studies, or the plan for what the color studies are going to be on the next two sketches. And I'm going to go with a blue-green, split complementary, blue-green on one end, red and orange for the other. And you can cheat and kind of mix red-orange in there as well. And then for the other one, I wasn't sure what I was going to do at first. I decided to go with red-violet and red-orange with a green complementary, so split complementary for both of them. And we'll see how it turns out. All right, so I'm starting to paint the first two color studies. You want to start with your background color first. If you need to, let it dry. I didn't really let it dry. You can see it kind of bleeds everywhere, but that's how it goes. And it's just a color study, so it's not a big deal. I really like that bright orange I put in there for the ring. Turned out nice. I like how it's working. Really makes it the focal point of the piece. There I'm adding in the blacks, nice and rich. And don't be afraid to hide things in the shadows, like the sorcerer's hand. You know, sometimes you might be afraid to take something black and just cover it up, but especially if it's a shadowy, evil character, it's perfectly fine to do. You can see I went a little crazy with the orange there. I had to mop some of it back up, and that's fine. If you make a mistake, just correct it, fix it. It's just a color study. It doesn't have to be perfect anyway, but it's really not a big deal to change things around, make corrections, do what you have to make it look nice. All right, so for the second color study, the first one I was doing is just monochromatic, just using orange and different shades of black with it, different values of it. Second one, I'm using analogous colors, where I'm actually using red and orange and a little bit of yellow together to do that one. I really liked how the fingers turned out on that one, but I like the background and the ring from the other one, so I'll probably combine those two together. Now you can see I've moved on to the next one, and I wanted to give the background a kind of grayish color so that the blue-green of her dress is going to come out. We have that red-orange that we're using for the sorcerer. Even though he's disguised as an old man, we want to kind of visually tie the two together from the previous illustration, using red and orange to kind of signify who this character is to the viewer or to the reader. And here he is trying to trade the shiny new lamps for the old busted lamp, which of course has the genie in it, but Aladdin's princess wife doesn't know that. And of course she makes the trade, and Aladdin has to fight to get back the lamp later in the story. Now you don't want to leave anything white unless it's a highlight or something, So there I am. I just put a little bit of like a beige tone in there, and that one turned out okay. It's not terrible. Let's see how this other one turns out. Since I was using red, violet, and red, orange, I said, I decided to try and see if I could pull off a kind of sunset effect with the sky. It was really an experiment. Wasn't sure how it was going to work. Doesn't look too bad. I think I'll go a little bit darker with the sky. Yeah, that's better. It looks really nice. I like how it's turning out. I like the green on her dress. I liked the blue-green from the other one, but I think I was, a little too influenced by the colors from the Disney movie. Switching to the green really helps. And on this one, I'm doing the opposite with the wall, where I'm making the wall nice and dark, and it is really helping the lamp come forward and pop out. So I really like how this one is turning out, and this is probably the one I'm going to use for the final illustration. So there you have it. I'm just going to leave the last one. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I want you guys to get to work on these. And you see the color studies, we now have a nice plan for what we're going to do next. There's no anxiety or worry about what we're going to do next. Or how we're going to use the color. We have a nice plan. We've worked it out, and it really helps us moving forward. And it helps us also to get excited about what we're going to do next and on finishing these projects.